As buildings were reduced to rubble, members of the public helped to get the injured out. In the minutes after the quake, the first question was, is everybody okay?
Seen Jill next door. Is she still in there?
I don't know.
Were you in at the time?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's terrible. Was that the worst one you felt?
Felt nothing this bad. The 7.2 is nothing compared to this. That was Tea Party stuff.
The extent of the damage is not yet known, but initial pictures show cars buried under the remains of buildings. Police have started checking those buildings to see if anybody is trapped.
Anyone there?
The National Crisis Management Centre has been activated and people are urged to listen to the radio for updated emergency information. Christchurch Hospital was among the buildings that were hurriedly evacuated amid fears the earthquake might be followed by equally damaging aftershocks. Kim Chisnell, 3 News.
And of course everyone around the country is trying to get in contact with people down in Christchurch with loved ones. And the phone lines are severely overloaded. Vodafone has just sent a message through asking for people not to make phone calls unless they're absolutely urgent. This applies for everybody around the country. Unless your call is an emergency or absolute necessity, please don't clog up the phone lines with unnecessary phone calls. The power is out, the water supply is affected. There's been a lot of flooding in Christchurch CBD. A number of buildings have collapsed. And we have had confirmed, just repeating, that there have been multiple fatalities. Of course, during the first earthquake in September, it was a miracle that you're seeing the Christchurch Cathedral there. It was a miracle, so many people said, that no one lost their lives. Well, sadly, in this case, this does not appear to be the case this time around. These pictures you're seeing from shortly after the earthquake, people hurriedly rushing into the streets, terrified, bringing comfort to one another. There were tears, people were screaming apparently. We've heard witness reports of people screaming from amongst the rubble as well. Injured have been taken away, but just the most terrible, terrible scenes. We're going to cross now to our reporter down in Christchurch, Jendi Harper and Jeff Hampton.
Hi Sashi, with me my colleague Jeff Hampton, who's actually been able to walk a few blocks here through the centre of Christchurch, or what's left of it. Jeff, what did you see?
Oh, it's terrible, Jendi. It's really awful. The central city, it just makes me so sad to see it. There are injured people in there. There are people trapped under rubble. Police are trying to get them out. I went along Cashel Mall, which is the premier mall of Christchurch near Ballantyne's, and there were casualties there. There were very badly injured people being attended to by police. Police had taken their cars in there because we've run out of ambulances, but it is like a war zone in there. Whitcoul's building, the whole top of it's collapsed, and there's an air conditioning unit sitting on the top that's about to topple into Cashel Mall. Lots of fridges. It's a very, very dangerous place, and they've set up a cordon, but that scene is replicated throughout the city. And there's an old building called the Provincial Chambers building that's collapsed near the Christchurch Courthouse, if anyone's familiar with that. There's a lot of rubble there, and I understand there may be people trapped under that. And
so citizens are just trying to pull people, is that what you've seen?
I've seen a little bit of that, but it's mainly the authorities because the rubble is too heavy for people to move. It's major rubble, it's huge blocks of stone and concrete, and people just can't move it by themselves, so that